These are the mistakes that you really need to consider before you purchase that brand new house. So we are talking about the mistakes that home buyers make that end up costing them thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars or the wrong house. And specifically, we're talking about those mistakes when it comes to brand new homes. I'm Sarah. I've been selling properties in San Diego for almost 17 years. I would love for you to subscribe. And if you know anybody that is looking to buy or sell in San Diego, I'd love that introduction. I'd love to help. Let's get into it. Mistake number one is going directly to tour the home without hiring a real estate agent. This is the trap that happens so many times to home buyers who actually do want the representation of a real estate agent and would probably not even have to pay for that real estate agent. And yet they see the flags, they see the balloons, they walk into the model home, and before they know it, they are trapped into dual agency. And honestly, that's what the builder wants. This typically happens before home buyers even understand what agency is and what the different types of agency are. Once you start talking to that builder's rep, once you sign anything, once you start emailing with them, they will force you into dual agency, which means the builder's rep or the salesperson there who represents the seller is now also representing you. And let me know in the comments if you think they are therefore representing your best interest. Do you think that that salesperson is going to be saying, I highly recommend that you have an independent inspection? Have you thought of a termite inspection? You might want to compare a different lender and see which one's cheaper. No, they're not going to tell you any of those. So remember that a lot of times these home builders will actually fully compensate real estate agents, and that does not necessarily need to come out of your pocket or affect the price. That is an option. It's just that you won't know that if you don't talk to real estate agents first. So if you don't know a really good real estate agent, ask your friends or family members in the area who've purchased homes before, or if you want a referral for somebody who's not in San Diego, send me a message and I'm happy to connect you with someone. All right, mistake number two is using the builder's lender, and this is a really tricky one because of the incentives, and they are often so hard to beat, but I'm going to give you a money-saving tip here. You will typically have to get a pre-approval with the builder's preferred lender, and that's okay. They are allowed to make you do that, but they're not allowed to make you use their lender for the actual loan. So yes, you can provide your financials, your pay stubs, your bank statements, your tax returns, all of that, you get your pre-approval. Well, what ends up happening is one of two things typically. There's some home buyers that are just like, that was a hassle. I don't even want to shop around. I don't want to compare. I'll use them. That will cost you thousands of dollars. I'm telling you right now, don't be that person. Always, always compare. Then you have another type of buyer that does actually want to compare different lenders, but they see the fact that the builder's lender typically has a huge credit. I mean, I have worked with two people recently in purchasing brand new homes, and the builder's lender offered a $25,000 incentive towards the closing costs if they were used for the loan. Now, here's the money-saving tip. You have to ask, is this a builder credit or a lender credit? A builder credit or an incentive means regardless of who you use for the loan, you can get that incentive or that discount. The lender credit or incentive means that you have to use that lender or you won't get it. You can use an outside lender, but you're not getting that credit. And that outside lender may be able to give you some credit, but honestly, rarely are they able to compete with the lender that works with the builder. So here's the issue. $25,000 sounds amazing, right? But when I actually look at their fee sheets, I'm telling you, they are typically padding the fees in other areas. Rarely is that $25,000 a true $25,000 because their fees in comparison to other lenders are a lot higher in other areas. And you have to also look at the interest rate, because if the interest rate is drastically higher than another lender and you're planning on staying in the home for a while, you still may end up losing thousands of dollars going with the builder's lender. Now, again, I'm not telling you not to do so. All I'm telling you is to consider comparing apples to apples. Mistake number three is not having independent inspections. So they will tell you that it's fine to just do the blue tape walkthrough, and they'll tell you, hey, it's under warranty, we'll fix everything. That's fine. It is great to get a copy of the warranty. It's great that the home will typically be under warranty. But my question to you is, do you want to move in and then find out that there's no hot water in the bathtub? Because I am representing buyers on a new build right now, and that is something that we found at our independent home inspection. And now it's being fixed before they move in, as opposed to them having to submit a claim and wait for weeks. So yes, you might assume that everything is perfect on brand new homes because it's brand new, but I'm telling you, they're going to find a lot of things just like with any home. And some of these are easy fixes. Some of them might not be easy fixes. And that's why you want to have an inspector out there. And if you need a referral for inspector, typically you can ask your real estate agent, but ask them for multiple referrals. Again, ask around, ask a friend, do your own research online. As long as you hire someone that you trust to do that inspection and give you that outsider information, they don't represent the seller. You should also consider having a termite inspection if you're in an area like Southern California where it's high termite. Ask the real estate agent what additional inspections are common in my area, because what I'm referencing for Southern California may not be the issue where you are. The next big mistake is more of a convenience factor, and that is assuming that everything will close on time. Understand that when it comes to buying new homes, the timeframes for closing are often moving targets. It's not like when you're purchasing a resale home, things like rain can drastically change the time frame for when the builder is now able to close. And a lot of times as the buyer, it's not even your fault, but it can be very difficult if you have movers lined up or you have a bunch of things lined up and you expect that you have to close this day. Understand that with a new home, you might have to have some flexibility. We've got two more big mistakes to consider. The next one has to do with the interest rates and just not understanding how volatile they can be, especially in this market. I'm talking about 2026. So one thing to consider with brand new homes is that a lot of times when you do purchase a new home, you're not closing escrow and moving in within 30 days like a resale home, unless you're looking at purchasing maybe the model home or something that is move-in ready or their quick move-in, whatever they call it, ready now. But a lot of times you're placing a deposit and then you're like under contract for many months while something is being built, 3 months, 6 months, a year, and you are waiting. Well, guess what? The lender is not going to lock the interest rate for that loan. If you're in a market where the interest rates are going down, that's phenomenal, because maybe you're not locking the interest rate and then 3 months later you find out that they're drastically better and now your payment's a lot lower. But guess what? The reverse can happen. Let's say you're buying a house, you're waiting 6 months, and then you have a market like this. At the time of recording, we're in April of 2026, and we have factors like a war that is affecting interest rates. And people who have been waiting a while but haven't been able to lock those interest rates yet are finding that the interest rate is actually drastically worse than when they first got under contract with that new builder. And now the payments are not going to be anywhere near what they expected. So understand the contracts, understand if there are reasons that you could back out. Ask your real estate agent to look at the contract. What would those reasons be? And then understand that until you are ready to lock the interest rate, which is typically going to be around 30 days out, that's a conversation for the lender. Until you can lock the interest rate, you're not sure exactly what those payments are going to be, and they could change. And the last big mistake is not doing your own research on the builder. So of course, if you go in and you look at the model home and you talk to the salesperson, they're going to tell you, yeah, this is the best builder in the world. All of their homes are built amazing. In fact, they're built better than the competition. And I'm not even thinking of anyone in particular. That's just what they're all going to say. Now, Consumer Affairs is somewhere that you can go that is unbiased, essentially, I guess as much as they could be, and will give you an opportunity to read things like reviews from actual homeowners that you don't know. My reviews are nowhere on there. I don't have any reviews. So it's unbiased in that capacity. And basically you're looking at reviews from people who have purchased those homes in the past. And you can kind of compare it with different builders. Like maybe I'm looking at KB versus Lennar versus a small builder in my area, and do the research there. Now, one caveat is, I will say, you are a lot more likely to see reviews from people who have had really bad and probably rare experiences than you are to see reviews from people who have had phenomenal experiences, or even just kind of like your standard, yeah, everything worked out great and then eventually we sold, and they just don't think about doing a review. For example, let's take a look at this one. This is Lennar. They're a huge builder throughout the United States. I've personally represented many people over the years in purchasing Lennar homes in San Diego, and all of them have been happy. I've never seen a client that has had major issues like you'll read about in some of these comments with like the mold and things like that. But a lot of these comments are from places where it's a lot more humid and the weather is very different. So you have parts of Texas, you have parts of Florida. Again, look at the reviews, consider where they're coming from. But I do just want you to do your own research and be educated. All right, those are a lot of different things that you'll want to consider before you purchase a brand new home. That was a lot of negative, but understand that it can be a really, really positive experience as well. And I hope that you love your new home. Let me know in the comments, what questions do you have? And if you've ever purchased a new home before, what has your experience been like? Don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching.